You are listening to the Winners Ways podcast with Bola Alabi, episode number 64.
Would you like to win and achieve success at what you do? Welcome to the Winners Ways podcast, where we create winners every day. And now, your host, the author of Winners Ways book and life coach, Bola Alabi.
Hey Winners team, welcome to another exciting episode of the Winners Ways podcast, where it's all about your career, your money, and the motivation to live life to the fullest. On today's show, we'll be talking about credit card terminologies. And you may ask why? Why do I want to just talk about credit card terminologies? Well, the answer is simple. In the United States of America today, the total credit card debt is almost $1 trillion. That's a huge debt. If you live around here, there's a high chance that you use or you have a credit card. A credit card is a financial tool that I can describe as a two-edged sword. Because if you use it wisely, you will reap its benefits. But if you misuse it, it can lead to a lot of pains for you. One way to use the credit card wisely, therefore, is to know about your credit cards, to know about its features, so that you can use it to your advantage. For most people, when they are opening their first credit card accounts, all the bankers will tell them is, hey, make sure you keep it securely. Do not go above your credit limits, and don't be late in making payments. You need to know much more than that. So to use your credit card wisely, I am creating this episode, and I'll be sharing 10 credit card terminologies, what they mean, and how you can use them to your advantage. And I'm going to also post on Winners Ways websites 20 card terminologies that you can go to and read more. Now let's go into today's show. The number one is annual fee. What is annual fee? Annual fee is the levy that the credit card issuer charge you every year. There are some credit cards that will not charge you any annual fee. So you need to watch out to check if you are paying annual fee or not. For me, I think it's best to use credit cards that will not charge you any annual fee. And they are out there. So if you are currently paying any annual fee on your credit card, you can find a way of switching to another card that will not charge you. So that's number one, annual fee. Number two, annual percentage rate, often called APR. That's the annualized total cost of borrowing money using your credit card. That's the interest rate, the fees that will be charged by the banker. Some credit cards charge as high as 24% APR every year. So what do you need to know? Make sure that your APR is low. Maybe you can get an APR of 9% or 12%. The lower, the better for you. The higher ones make more money for the banks. So APR, the interest that the bank charge on your purchases. Number three, balance transfer. Now you need some quick money. The easiest way is you can do balance transfer. That's the transfer of an outstanding credit card balance in form of cash. The card issuer usually charge interest on day one when you do the balance transfer. And it's possible that sometimes you may get an offer in the mailbox that, hey, do this balance transfer and you will not pay any interest for maybe 90 days. If you don't pay off the total amount within that period, then the bank will charge you an interest on your outstanding balance. Balance transfer is a good feature to use when you need money urgently, but please make sure that you pay back before the expiration of the offer period. Number 4, cash advance. What is cash advance? This is the withdrawal of funds from your credit card, and you can do this up to the credit limit allowed. For example, if your credit limit on your credit card is $5,000, you can only do cash advance up to $5,000. The amount you withdraw is subject to interest charges as well. So you must know that. Number 5, grace period. The grace period is the time between the statement date and the payment due date. And this date is determined by the card issuer. During the grace period, you can pay off any new purchases without accruing any interest charges. The typical grace period for most people is about 30 days. And during this period, you pay no interest. If you pay off your credit card balance before the end of the pay period, you will not pay any interest on your credit card. For example, if your payment date is 5th of every month and your payment due date is 26th of every month, your grace period is just around 25 days. And during the grace period, you are not paying interest on your purchases. Number 6, minimum payment. The minimum amount payable each month on your credit card balance is your minimum payment, and is the lowest amount you are required to pay on your credit card without incurring a late fee. So maybe for you, depending on the balance that you have on your credit card, your minimum payment may be $50. If you pay that $50, you will not incur any charges. But let's say you did not pay the $50, but you only pay $20, then you incur late fees. If you have a high credit card debt, ensure you are paying more than the minimum so that you can quickly pay off the debt. So that's minimum payments, the lowest amount you are required to pay each month on your credit card. Number 7, late payment. If you don't pay at least the minimum amount due by your due date, your payment is considered late by the credit card company. If your payment is late for more than 30 days, this can negatively impact your credit score. And you know your credit score is important because if you want to buy a house, buy a car, it's your credit score that will determine the interest rate that you pay on those purchases. Now, what should you do? If you know that you can forget to pay your credit card bills, then it's always better to sign up for autopay. With autopay, you can authorize your credit card company to take out a certain amount from your checking account and pay off your credit balance. Automating your payments makes it easier and it eliminates the risk of forgetting to make your payments. Late payments can adversely affect your credit score. It can damage your financial standing. Number 8, credit limit. Credit limit is the total amount you can charge to a credit card. When you open a credit card, maybe initially your credit limit is $500. After a period, you can request an increase. And if you've been paying on time, if you have not defaulted, the bank can grant your request. But of course, they will look at several factors: your income, your debt load, your credit worthiness. They'll look at this factor to determine or to decide whether or not to grant your request. What you need to know: if your credit limit is $1,000, you should make sure that you are not using more than $300 out of the credit limit. It's not a good idea to use all your credit limits. Number 9, credit utilization. What is credit utilization rate? This measures what percentage of your credit limit you are actually using. A low credit utilization rate is good for you, is good for your credit score, so make sure you keep yours as low as possible. For example, if you use $300 from $1,000 credit limit, your utilization rate is around 30%. And financial experts recommend that credit utilization rate ideally should be 30% or lower. Finally, reward programs or cashback. A reward program is typically offered by a credit card company to give the card holders incentives to use the credit card. And it works this way: you get reward points each time you charge a purchase to your credit card. And you can redeem those points maybe in form of cash, or you can use them for travel. A reward program that gives you a percentage of every dollar you spend in the form of cash. And you can typically get this cash back maybe in form of credit statements or direct deposits, or even your bank may send a check to you. And some cashback credit can allow you to get reward in form of gift cards. What you need to know is if you use and pay off all your outstanding balance before the payment due date, you can actually make money by using your credit card. It takes a lot of discipline, because if you make the mistake of not paying off your credit balance, your bank will charge you interest, and the interest rate is typically 80% or higher. And that's where I'm gonna stop today. Your credit card is a very important financial tool that can help you or hurt you depending on how you use it. Some financial experts advise people to avoid using a credit card. This is because it takes a lot of discipline not to misuse the credit card. Let's think about it. If you have a credit limit of $20,000 on your credit card, you can go anywhere and spend that money without feeling any pain. Compare this with maybe $20,000 sitting in your checking account. You will think carefully before you spend that $20,000 cash. Personally, I think teaching people how to use credit cards responsibly is the best way to manage credit card debt in the society. The more you know about your credit card and how it works, the easier it is to use it responsibly and get more values from it. As you learn about credit card and their various terms and features, you can improve your chances of using credit cards to your benefit. I hope you learned something about credit card usage from today's episode, and you found this episode beneficial. Till next time again, this is Bola Halabi. Now, go win.
This episode of Winner's Ways podcast has come to a close. We hope you enjoy and learn something from today's show. We want you to win and excel in all areas of your life, and we regularly explore and share information with our listeners to empower them to win. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more tips and strategies to help you find the success that you've always dreamt of. And don't forget to rate and review so that we can continue to bring you more podcast episodes to empower you. We will love to have you again next week. Now, keep winning.